Thank you very much indeed. I think we have to move on now, but thank you for the questions. And I think we've had a chance to hear from all three speakers. Uh, if Jenny, if you have any pressing things that you'd like to respond to Daniela's questions, then in the drinks afterwards, I think would be the time. Sorry. So I would like to move on then, if I may. Do I just click here? See what happens? No. I'd like to move the slides on, if I may. Thank you. To thinking about a little bit more about the diversity project, which Daniela has mentioned and I mentioned earlier. And as Daniela says, it is really mirrors a lot of the things which have been talked about in the three projects so far. But what I really want to talk about is how the Equilibrium Network was able to influence and add value to that project. Diversity comprises a rich and very diverse consortium of cities, academic institutes, and commercial organizations. Um, uh, and this diversity in itself has been fascinating with the different aspirations and values, the challenges, the opportunities, and the different interpretations of what success might look like in the different places that we were involved with. And that has been incredibly illuminating and educational. And as a slight aside, all communicated through what to us Brits has been a minefield of EU language, ostensibly English, but rather like American, involving very different meanings for universally used words, which kind of really presented a really strong understanding that communication and language and the way in which you use language is something which is incredibly important, especially when engaging with people who perhaps find it difficult to be engaged. The interventions were, as I say, in 5 different cities across Europe, exploring the benefits of an inclusive approach when looking to mitigate the effects of air quality for those less well represented groups in our societies. And I think the shocking thing is that this often seems to include the 50% of us who are women. One of the interesting add ons to the project was engaging beyond the consortium and working with twin cities from far across the globe and sharing our experiences and our findings and expertise with them and hearing from very, very different cultures and very, very different places how they might interpret what we have found. And building on our mission to enable women to have equal influence in the design and delivery of the built environment, our contribution to Diversity Consortium has been to promote behaviours that treat everyone equally and fairly, without discrimination, encouraging members of the consortium to be more diverse in the design, delivery, and communication of their work within the project and in the cities themselves, all through a forum for shared knowledge and discussions. So, how did that forum manifest itself? Firstly, it was through events. We ran a series of online events with presentations from a broad range of provocateurs, experts from across the world, and panel discussions. So, what did we cover in our events? We talked about connecting emerging talents with established leaders and getting the best from both. We have explored accessibility in cities, including neurodivergence and other often ignored needs. We have debated how nature based solutions can mitigate urban challenges, particularly in areas of deprivation. We've been encouraged to understand the benefits of child focused urban planning. We had an amazing session that explained the transformative powers of inclusive communication, using visual tools, play, storytelling, and other methods to engage an audience. We reviewed how women are shaping our cities and the positive effect this is having for men and for women alike. We heard, rather depressingly, how climate change most impacts the most vulnerable, but we also looked at what can be done to help and support. And we discussed the challenges women face in the built environment with the aim of being able to alleviate some of these challenges. And I'm delighted to say that the recordings of all of our events are available free of charge on the EQN website. We also created toolkits, and we have a number of toolkits to support and advance gender equality within the built environment. We started with an ethical code to help people create gender neutral work environments. These we also created a mentoring toolkit that focused not on mentoring technical skills, but rather mentoring around behavior and gender biased issues. We created a procurement guidelines to help organizations working in the public sector integrate diversity and inclusion into their procurement processes. And most recently, our most recent publication is an action plan to support future leaders, which was drawn from an event last year that asked young people who work in the industry what support they needed from the current leaders in their organizations. Now, I believe this QR code does work. And if you scan it, it will take you to the resources section of our website where you can download all the toolkits. And of course, from there, you can also navigate to the events section where the recordings of our previous events are able to are able to be seen. So, we've come to the end. We have 1 minute left. And once again, I would like to thank SOM EQ Lab for hosting us, the EU Horizon 2020 programme for enabling the work of EQN to date, and of course our wonderful speakers. Thank you for giving up the time and thank you for sharing your extraordinary projects with us. Thank you everybody and good night.